All right, we're good. All right, good evening and welcome to the Town of Rockingham, Bellows Falls Village Special Joint Board Meeting. It's Tuesday, August 18th, 2020, and now 6 o'clock. We're down here in the Rockingham Lower Theater Room. We do have capacity if anyone has a burning need to turn up physically, and please wear a mask. Calling the meeting to order. I'd like to see if there's any additions to the agenda for routine administrative matters and or pressing matters that will require ratification at a future meeting.
I don't have any.
Okay, then we have none. Moving on to public comment. Anyone have public comment before we go forward?
Yes, Miss Wright.
Yes, Mr. Mitchell?
Yes, I'll speak slowly because I'm a stroke victim. I want to say that I'm a little surprised at how fast we're picking a town manager, yet we can't seem to pick a police chief. Town managers come and go. Police chief's been here for 14 years, and that's why we have the problems that we do. So I'm going to suggest very strongly that we pick the right police chief, not continue with the status quo, as I'm hearing has been done. That leaves only two people other than our present staff. That would be the mass officer and Sergeant Tom Williams. The mass officer is going to know nothing about the complexities of Bellows Falls or the drug trade. Sergeant Tom Williams does. Even Jig says he wants to hear drug arrest, drug report. So we're inundated with drugs in this community. Please choose your chief wisely. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, then, anyone else? Moving on to the agenda, our first matter of discussion is the Herrick's Cove Agreement.
Can I just make an announcement? It would go under other business, but in case people don't stick around.
Okay, sure.
The town hall has masks for the public, for those who may need them. I believe they have a lot of them. And they are open Monday through Thursday, 7 to 4:30. I just want to.
Then what office should they come up to get them? Town clerk?
Finance office.
Finance, okay. All right. Okay,
To be available tomorrow.
Available starting tomorrow, and they're cloth masks, not the disposable ones, so they're
Okay.
washable.
okay, good. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, agenda item number 1, discuss the Herrick's Cove Agreement. I believe we don't have anything physically in writing. The only thing that turned up would have been minutes, which I'm afraid I could not retrieve because there's a broken link on the website. We'll have to get that fixed. That would have been for June, July, and August of each year, where a village police officer goes up in the late afternoon to evening every day. I think they only lock it on Friday and Saturday. And it's a one turnaround inside Herrick's Cove, and that's it. At this point, our understanding is the village charges the town for the time. And that's where we are with it. So further discussion on the item. Yes, Peter.
My understanding that's a class 3 road and it's not supposed to be blocked off.
As in not supposed to lock it?
Correct.
However, I believe the Greater River Hydro and the previous owner were doing that on a regular basis before we started doing it.
Just a point of information.
Oh, no, I understand. Anyone else?
But isn't the gate down where it begins private property? Down by the boat dock, that's the gate on the right that they lock.
That's the one they lock. I thought it was the one back where the sign was.
That's the one
Yeah,
I
me
was
too.
under the impression they were locking because of the
Just
complaint
past the second house.
by that resident, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
That resident was complaining and that's why they were closing that one, and it's a class 3 road, it's not supposed to be gated.
Okay.
Sorry.
Somebody can check into that, please.
Where it's actually getting gated, but it's only being done on Friday and Saturday night and only June, July, and August. I don't know and there's issues down there. I don't know what good that does if we only do it during the summer and not spring and not fall. But that's the agreement at this point. So are the village trustees fine with where we're doing it? Do we want to have a formal policy? What do we want? Because we don't.
I don't think a formal policy hurts. I think it'd be a good idea to have a formal policy. That way that eliminates any confusion to the contrary of.
Is there a reason why we don't have enough microphones this time? We did the last time, I thought we had a joint board meeting. Yeah. Oh,
He was in Maine.
oh, so we did have reduced members. But always, yeah,
Good idea.
there isn't any public comments, so we should be fine with that. So we'll use next right. Sorry, folks, we just want to make sure we've got enough so people can hear everyone speaking. So I think we're pretty good, but
I don't know if there's much we could do right now tonight, other than put it on a future agenda. But the only thing I remember is like with the latest owners of the dam in the tax negotiation, it was like a good faith agreement by the town that the previous manager made.
right.
And it's a word of mouth thing, so that's all I remember. I don't ever remember seeing anything in writing, and we
Yeah.
discussed it the last time it was brought up.
Well, I don't believe that the town is going to want to kick it back to Great River Hydro. So it's just basically right now, at this point forward, it is between the village and the town. So perhaps some small intermunicipal agreement like we have for other things would be something we should draw up and both agree on and get signed at that some point. Is that okay with everyone? Does that
Well, I have
work?
a couple of questions.
Sure. Go ahead.
So, right now, who actually pays the village now for the town is?
Town.
And that's done behind the scenes?
It's an entry. It's a journal entry because they share the same cash account.
So it goes bills to one and just goes back into the other. So.
Yeah.
Other question?
No, just a comment. I just actually came from there. I was curious.
Oh.
There are, by Thomas, right, there's 2 signs, 2 gates. Far in, the gate way in is the yellow one, and the one out by Route 5 is, I don't know which one they are either.
Oh,
So it's approximately from the police station traveling normal speed. From the far end of Herrick's Cove, it's 8 minutes,
Mhm.
round numbers. 4.2 miles.
okay.
Be longer when they do the bridge construction, won't it?
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Definitely, that's going to add to the time.
About a 45-minute one-way trip.
Shan,
So,
oh, I'm
just
sorry.
throwing that out there, I just was curious.
No, yeah, you wanted to see what it looked like
Yeah.
and what time it took. Yeah.
I think there should be, I think whatever we're collecting, we should reevaluate, find out what that is, and come up with some type of intermunicipal agreement that outlines
Okay.
this process.
Okay. So I
That's
could
my opinion.
maybe work with Chuck to get us some document that we can agree on and go back and forth between the board members, 2 boards, meetings, and get something done. Shannon, you had something.
Yeah, what we're currently doing is 1 hour a day, time and a half for a police officer. And it's approximately 30 minutes each in the morning and at night.
Okay, so that's
Just so you have an idea of what we're currently.
But just so we're all clear, they're going down there, doing a patrol through the thing and leaving. They're only locking it on Friday and Saturday night.
That's correct.
So it's it's a public safety thing, but
And I think the reason it was structured this way is it's my understanding that the police can do details outside of the village, such as the highway and things like that. And so the chief at the time, not Chief Bemis, had agreed to do it for the town.
and it's only the summer months when there's higher activity.
Exactly. And for the same rate they charge any other
Lock it.
outside
Oh.
detail.
Right.
the fire gate. is-
It's actually within the union contract what they can charge for outside
Right.
details.
Yeah, I was only concerned about what happens in spring, what happens in the fall, not the winter, of course, because it's also not plowed. So I'm assuming it's more inaccessible at that point anyway.
And so the only part of it that's a class 3 road is the part of it in which the highway maintains. The rest of it
Okay.
is not. So what what we're locking or where the locks are is not past that is not a class 3 road.
Okay.
I don't think so. There's the gate at the very beginning, right past the blacktop, that I'm pretty sure is the one they lock. And we grade from there to the next yellow gate. I'll check it.
Yeah,
On
I
Friday
asked
night, I'll check
Andy,
it.
but
But as to patrol, we know, we are aware of the amount of time. So it will change when the bridge is worked on next year. That'll increase the amount of time going back and forth. That's what we figured, 12 to 20 minutes detouring around. Yeah, so we'll figure that out. But that looks like, if that's good with everyone, is there anything else? Mr. Mitchell, will you have
Yes.
some?
Yes, would you please, the officer, to galley up there and sit in Harris's house on the front porch, talking for an hour. He needs to skedaddle and come right back.
We understand that. We do. And thank you for your input. All right, that's where we're going with it. That's fine. Moving on to the next item is to discuss the RVFD, so the Rockingham Volunteer Fire Department use of village water for pools. Okay, that was put on here because of discussion by the trustees last meeting. Yeah, Shannon, you start.
so my recommendation as the finance director would be that this has nothing to do with the town, and so to bill the Rockingham Fire Department,
Mhm.
just to put that out. That's my recommendation.
Okay. And of course, the reason it was on here was because it is it's in the town of Rockingham, which is why I wanted it. Yes, and I'm assuming you're the chief of the RVFD? Okay. Oh, sorry, I need a mic. You need a microphone.
Come on up.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, you do that, take this one with you.
Sorry, otherwise they can't, the camera won't pick you up.
So the information Wade Mashur put out at the trustees meeting was inaccurate. The Rockingham Volunteer Fire Department has never taken water out of the municipal system for the purpose of filling a swimming pool. And he failed to do his due diligence and check into the information he received. He never called me to talk about it. Did they put water in a pool? Yes, they did. They put 1,500 gallons in a pool with whatever water was in the tank. Did they fill it up at the municipal system? Yes, they did. Reason for that, the fire pond with the recent weather pattern we've had, hot and dry, and the water's stagnant and low and has a very strong odor to it. We didn't want that in the fire station. That might have been a bad decision, but at no point have we ever taken water out of that municipal system to fill a swimming pool.
Okay, so
In
the
fact,
water.
other than this isolated event,
in the
another
tank.
false statement by Mr. Mashur was we stopped doing swimming pools 3 years ago.
Okay. Okay, the water did come from the municipal system of the Village of Bells Falls, yes? But not for a pool?
Not for a pool, they just filled topping off the tanker.
Okay, okay. Does the Village of Bells Falls have an agreement for you to do that? Free of
haven't
charge?
tried.
I don't know.
That was the
Oh.
whole point.
Sorry about that. Turn this up. Okay, so it wasn't a pool. And so you didn't get donations in exchange for water that belonged to the village, but we need to figure out what, I mean, you need water and you can't take it from, and I thought about that because you can get from pond water, but at certain times of the year, it's horrible to use. So I get that, but what to do now? And how frequently, well, maybe you could say, how frequently do you fill up the tanker?
Normally only during a fire.
Okay.
And then it might not even be from the municipal system. It may come from a water source we're using during the fire.
Okay. Anyone else? Mr. Mashur, you did bring the item
Yeah,
up.
I did bring it up. So let me just clarify with the chief a couple things.
Well, I'll let you-
It was brought to my attention that the truck was filled to fill a pool. When I brought it up at our meeting, our last meeting, what I said was basically that it was my understanding that that was what happened. I didn't name any names. I did say Rockingham Fire Department was filling a pool. That it was my understanding because the people who asked me about it and reported it to me, that's what they told me. So that's why I said it was my understanding. I don't, all I'm saying is that the village folks who are the users of that system pay to have that water made. And, you know, we just can't give it away. I mean, it's just like
That's not what we're in the business to do. So I personally don't have a problem with them filling pools, even though I guess we don't do it anymore, which I didn't know there was a policy on that. But in the past there was. If it's not, that's not even the issue here, whether they do or not. That's not even our process. But the bottom line is, if they're opening a hydrant, in my opinion, for anything other than a fire, in this case to potentially fill a pool, then somebody should be paying for that water. No different than going and filling your truck up with gasoline or whatever. It was that water was made and produced and by the users of the system who pay for it.
Gaetano.
So at your trustees meeting, you stated 3,000 gallons and $71. So
Actually,
is that,
$71.50.
is that accurate? And is the town being billed? That's all I really want to discuss right now.
Okay, he
Well-
just said it was 1,500, so that's half of that.
That's why I'm asking.
Right.
And the town's not being billed, no. This,
No, you send the bill to me, I'll take care of it.
right, I'm just saying that we don't have an agreement to charge you for water when you take water. We just don't have one. It's probably been going on forever. We just don't know that
So-
because we don't have a policy.
Can I ask another question? So you're saying that they did fill the truck there, but only half of it?
Yes, the truck still had 2 lights on the tank level.
So why were they filling the truck there though?
I already stated that.
I know, but repeat that again.
Because of the weather pattern we've had lately, the hot, dry weather, the water in the pond is low, stagnant, and has a very unique odor to it.
Yeah, oh,
Did
yeah.
not want to fill the truck and have that odor emanating through the firehouse and the highway garage.
All right, so.
So they
So
may have made a bad decision.
Where'd the 1,500 gallon, why did they have to fill the truck though?
As I already said, they did fill a pool that
Okay,
day.
so that water, so
So
my point here is half of that tank of water did go to somebody's pool. Is that correct?
the water that was in the tank, correct.
Okay, that's what I'm getting at. So technically it should be half of the 3,000. Gaetano's right.
Okay, so like $35 or something.
And the other thing that I want to say is the whole thing could have been avoided with a simple phone call by whoever went down there and did it. I don't even know who it was, but a simple phone call and picking up the phone and calling the water department and saying, hey, this is what we're doing. Is it okay? Chances are they would have said, yeah, go for it. No big deal. And we wouldn't be sitting here talking about it.
And a simple phone call from you, we probably wouldn't be sitting here talking about it either.
It was already, when I talked about it, when I got asked about it, Kevin, when I got approached about it, I said, I'll bring it up at the next meeting. And you know what the response I got was from the 2 people that told me? They said, you don't have to worry about it. It's already been taken care of by the manager. I said, okay. So he knows about it. I said, what did the manager do? Well, I don't know, but I know he took care of it.
No,
So at
no.
that point,
Nobody talked to me. The first time I saw it was you. on
right.
TV.
So at that
Okay.
point, I brought it up at our next
Trustee meeting.
at the next trustees meeting, just so that they're aware of it. Even though, because, and had that person been able to tell me, yeah, this is what the manager did and taking care of it, but they didn't know. They just said, well, we were told he was either taking care of it or going to take care of it.
Well, he did nothing.
No.
Okay, Stefan, you had something.
Well, I think one of the manager's objectives has been to basically want to foster some cooperation between the fire department. So I think kind of beating up on Rockingham Volunteer Fire Department for taking water out of the hydrant system to top off a truck.
Stefan, you need a microphone.
To top off a truck.
Well, they're sharing, right? So, oh, there you go. That's right. Now they're not sharing.
Yeah. They can't hear me by now. They better get batteries. To top off a truck, I think it's a point taken, but we've had police officers tap into hydrants here over I think what was recently as 2 years ago or last year, was it? We have training nights where a bunch of departments participate together on a training night, and they may probably at one point use water. Short of saying, hey, we're going to get some water out of the pond or some pond water and stink up a fire station combination highway garage, I don't see what the big deal is. And also, we have construction companies that have done work in here, in the village limits, and in the town that have tapped into these hydrants. And I
They
mean,
get charged.
do we charge them? Is there?
We charge them.
They're charged.
Wait, okay,
Yeah,
so
we
let's
do.
Tiffany finish
We
and
don't
then
just
I'll.
get
We
okay, Tana-
we
wait,
do
wait, wait.
we do get we do
Okay.
charge them. The water company
Okay.
gets notified. They take a meter reading. We
And they
they
get billed
and
for it.
then we check it again after the usage.
Stefan, will you finish? I'm not sure.
For the moment.
I understand.
Yeah.
The point. Guy Tony has something.
So during the trustees meeting, if I recollect, something about an alarm was triggered in 3,000 gallons. So did that happen or did that not happen? And then to respond to Stefan's statement, he sat at that trustees meeting and never said a peep about Wade's
Mhm.
discussion, but wants to discuss it
No.
now. It would have been more relevant to have that discussion at your meeting when your fellow member was bringing that up. To counter with the,
Well,
to counter with the points you just mentioned.
yes and no, but I mean, I wanted to hear both sides of the story, and I waited till tonight so we could have this discussion. It was on the agenda for whatever reason.
But just,
So
I
that's
don't
why I asked.
understand the 3,000 gallon, I thought an alarm went off or something, so what?
That wasn't the case, was it, Wade?
I can address it. Kevin, he knows.
Oh, it triggered something. Okay, I remember hearing that now.
So,
If it didn't, we wouldn't have even, well, go ahead. You got the mic.
so originally, as Wade stated during the trustee meeting, 3,000 gallons, because that was the size of the tanker. They didn't use 3,000 gallons, they used half a tank. The alarm triggered because Whitney Blake had a fault on their system.
Oh.
Their alarm triggered
Ah.
5 times in a 9-day period. And it took them 2 tries with the alarm companies to fix the problem, and supposedly it's fixed. It was tripped when we opened the hydrant. It tripped the first time when the village water department filled the tank up there on manual instead of auto. And that was confirmed by Brian Joslin on scene that day. Problem was with Whitney and Blake's system. They had a pressure problem in their building.
Okay, thank you.
Just one more thing, if I may.
Yep.
I like to move on, I think.
Yeah, I think.
So if
we
it's
got that.
1,500 gallons and $36 and they're willing to take the bill, we can all move on. We'll discuss in the future. And one more question for the chief. What are your other options for filling in Rockingham, perhaps to get better water sitting in your truck for this time of?
The fire pond is really the only easy option. There's a dry hydrant there. The river in most places is inaccessible for drawing water.
My question would be, with the new well that's up there, how does that help out?
I
Or,
don't think the new well has enough GPMs to
Okay.
handle that.
It's not set for that. Okay. All right, well, I will check with the manager when he returns from his holidays to see what, if anything, did occur as far as that end is concerned and what we would continue to do in the future. So we don't have this kind of a kerfluffle about getting half a tank of water.
One more comment, please.
Yep.
It's a town thing, but have we looked into perhaps getting a few more dry hydrants accessible in the town of Rockingham for you and Saxon River and any other department that's out there in the middle of the night?
I don't know what's available in Saxon's River to use for a source for dry hydrants. We have several in the town of Rockingham, and right now, I think 3 of them, the pipes are exposed because the water levels are so low.
Okay. So are we done with this subject at this point? Looks like we can move on. Our next item on the agenda is the manager search. We will be having executive session to cover the majority of this, but a board discussion to set candidate criteria. I believe, I don't know if anyone else submitted. I have, only thing I have right here is the one that Peter submitted with different things for criteria. Did anyone do up a list of things they would be looking for as far as that's concerned? Remember that all the names are confidential, and until we make a final selection. So.
I apologize. I didn't give you my list. I will give it.
Well, it's something you don't have it with you.
No.
It's something we could talk about in executive session as well, of course. Excuse me, Ed.
Is there a master file of or
Oh, yeah, just grab that one here or something. Yeah.
just wondering what information is available?
From previous searches
For
on
criteria,
criteria.
I think it
Just
could,
in the process, rather.
I sent it all to you guys in one big email, and it
have
had
it.
the
right, yeah.
criteria from the previous
here.
searches. I can re-forward it.
I
if
have
that
it
would-
here. We
Oh,
can look at it later.
Okay.
But I also think it's, it could be an individual preference in criteria. This,
Some-
everyone,
yeah.
I, half of those things,
Some will matter
aren't
more
on
to
my
some
list.
people than others. Yeah,
so.
that's true. So there is that. And so I don't know if there needs to be a lot of discussion about this. The other one was to discuss viable candidates, but we can't do that in open meeting at this point. I had numbered all of the candidates, but because everyone doesn't have that list, they're not going to be able to discuss it that way. Yes, Peter.
Point of order here, I guess. At the last select board meeting, I was informed that one of our candidates had made a visit to the town hall and was given a tour. Can anybody find out whether the candidate was invited or whether it just popped in the office? And if so, why was the tour given? That kind of gives the.
I wouldn't know that, but maybe Shannon
Candidate
does.
gives it's now a step up on the other candidate. So if that particular candidate is chosen, I don't know what that does to our process. Kind of taints it, I guess.
Shannon, did you have anything on that?
I'm not aware of anybody that got a tour. I did interview one person before you guys stopped the process, but I am not familiar with a tour. But any of the applicants, I don't think it would be a leg up. Any of the applicants are more than welcome to come to town hall. Any person is ever. So they're all entitled to do that. Anybody who's applied is welcome to come down to town hall and walk around, and the applicants are supposed to be confidential, so it shouldn't matter.
Okay, so as far as you know, no one did that.
I have not
Not
heard
that
that
you're
at
aware.
all.
Excuse me, ma'am. But
Yes.
Shannon was the one that told me about it. So,
Oh, she did?
yeah, before the select board meeting.
I told you I gave somebody a tour of town hall.
Yes.
The exact word was, it was awesome. So I'll leave that at where it is.
Oh,
I'm
no,
not
no,
going to pursue
you
this.
understand.
I just think it taints the process. So
I interviewed.
Whatever.
No, I interviewed one applicant, and I didn't ever walk her around anywhere. She went into a conference room for an interview and left.
Choose your words carefully when you're referring to the candidate. We shouldn't use any particular.
You're the one
agenda.
who did.
Okay, folks, I think we're probably done with that. Maybe you should have that discussion after the meeting.
But there was never a tour given to absolutely
Okay.
anybody by me. Not a walkthrough. It was a walk to the second floor conference room, an interview, and we walked back. That evening, you guys held your meeting and said to stop the process, and I did not interview another person.
Okay. Since we do have number 4 and number 5 are both executive sessions, and we may be making a decision about number 5. I don't know. I don't think we're going to have. We might as well cover the ending items on here, reviewing the agenda items for the next meeting. I don't know if we have any at this point. There'll probably be more joint board meetings concerning the manager position. I don't believe we have any orders, bills, and warrants to sign. Don't worry. Any other business? Wade? Jeff? Jigs? Nothing for me. Gaetano?
Nothing for
Peter?
me, thank you.
Nope.
Stefan? And Ben? Susan, do you have any other business?
No, I'm all set.
Okay. Okay, so we will be going to two different executive sessions. The first one is on the manager search. I need someone to read that, make a motion with that, please. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Anyone else have any other business before we go into executive session? You're all set in the public? Okay. All right, good. All right, thank you. All right, now for the motion.
Okay, I'll make the motion that we enter into an executive session to discuss the manager's search and to where premature general knowledge may clearly place the municipality at a substantial disadvantage. Per, I believe, section 1 VSA 313, sections A and 1.
I'll second.
A and 1, is that what it's supposed to be instead of A3?
I thought it would be
It says
A1.
A3.
Well, okay, maybe it's A3, I'm sorry.
It's A3.
In section 10, right?
Yeah.
No, A3, yep.
Okay, I'm sorry, it was seconded? Okay. We have to do those separate with select board and trustees, so you get to move
Peter
that.
seconded it.
Yep,
All
so
those
you
in
got-
favor signify by saying aye.
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 All right, you want to read it again, Stefan?
Sure,
And
I
then we'll
can
do it for the
read it again.
trustees.
Make the motion that we adjourn to an executive session to discuss the manager search for premature general knowledge may clearly place the municipality, i.e. the village, at a substantial disadvantage per section 1 VSA 313A3.
Need a second? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. We are now in executive session. Thank you, folks. We'll have to
Deb,
come back. Do the second.
I need to know how